1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back to the Country and Cold Cans podcast. I'm Logan, sitting here virtually with Andy and Kyle. Andy, where the hell are you today?
I am almost to Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa. Is that corn country?
Yeah, I see a lot of cornfields.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Andy's driving and podcasting today. I don't know what the laws are on that, but that's what he's doing.
Hands-free.
Hands-free. Exactly. All right. So, yeah, today, like I said, this is our first virtual episode. So we're kind of like rolling through this, trying to fly by the seat of our pants, trying to figure out how to do what all three of us are in different cities. Andy's a rambler on the road. Kyle and I live in different cities. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. And we kind of came up with this option, see how it works, see how it goes. That way we'll have an audio and video option for us to be able to put some stuff on YouTube. And, before we get into today's segment, because we've got a brand new thing for the listeners today, I want to talk about good news. Next week, I'm going to be interviewing Austin Upchurch. He's a brand new artist out of Texas, just released a banger of a new Texas rock record. Excited about that one. You try to get that guy some more exposure because he deserves it. So check out
awesome
that
album.
Yeah, it's an awesome album. Check out that record, and he's going to be on the next episode of Country and Cold Cans. So we'll have that soon. Before we jump into the brand new segment, I also want to plug our own Country and Cold Cans koozies. You can find them at oakcitydrifters.com/shop. That is oakcitydrifters.com/shop. $5, and you'll be able to support the podcast. And not only that, but have a badass koozie to go along with it with a killer logo. So, all right, today we're having a little bit of a different episode. We want to shake things up a little bit instead of us just talking about songs and say, oh, I like this one, I like that one. So, we kind of want to make it hopefully a little more entertaining. And we have a new segment that we take 5 songs that have recently been released, and we listen to them, we come up with an opinion on them, and it's called Slap or Crap, because it's either good or it's not. So as the kids say, it slaps or it's crap. If you like it, let us know. If you don't, it was Andy's idea. So let's start things off.
Thanks.
And the very first song we want to go over is by one of my favorite bands of all time, who is actually the lead singer of this band, is one of the most prolific songwriters in roots music, in my opinion. And he was actually a guest on this very show, the very first interview we ever did, out in Durham at Motorco Music Lounge or whatever it was called. I can't remember. But the old 97s, lead singer Rhett Miller. So they're releasing tomorrow, actually, their next record called 12th or 12. I can't remember. It's one of the two. But that album drops tomorrow, and they dropped a few singles ahead of time. One of them is called Bottle Rocket Baby. And I guess if you want to kick things off, Kyle, give us your thoughts and tell us, does it slap or is it crap?
Well, I hate to that you went to me first, because this is one of those songs that I know I would not listen to in the car, but right. I would absolutely listen to in a dive bar.
Yeah.
It's not my particular taste, but it is a good song. So I'm going to say it slaps. It's not something I would casually listen to. I feel like in the proper setting, the song slaps.
Yeah. If you were at Lincoln Theater in Raleigh,
right.
Maybe had a few cold snacks, you'd probably enjoy it more.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I figured, to be quite frank with you, I figured this probably wasn't your cup of tea as much as it is mine, and to a lesser extent Andy's. But yeah, I mean, there you go, Kyle. We got one slap on the board for Bottle Rocket Baby. All right, throw it over to the truck driver driving through the middle of Iowa. What say you, Andy?
Slaps. It's kind of a classic Rhett Miller thing too. When you get the, it's kind of the song about you getting rowdy and partying, but you also very acknowledge that you're burning your entire world to the ground at the same time.
So we got two slaps.
I'm a sucker for that kind of song.
Oh, I feel you on that. But yeah, I agree. I think it's just straight up slaps, man. I mean, but admittedly, disclaimer, I'm a huge Rhett Miller and old 97s fan, and This song is classic old 97s and sound and theme. It's got that up-tempo song, with that kind of rockin' twang Texas twang they have. And, it's kind of a rambling song about, I'm a bottle rocket baby. So you better hold on while you can, because it may not be around. But I agree with Andy and to a lesser extent Kyle. I think it slaps. So there's the first one, old 97's Bottle Rocket Baby, 3 slaps. Next up, we're going to dive into the world of mainstream country music. And this one is by a very polarizing guy. Walks around with his sleeves cut off, wears a mullet. And his name is Morgan Wallen. Very polarizing figure amongst people in the independent realm and within the mainstream, because people either love him or hate him. And so Morgan Wallen, 7 Summers. Take it away, Andy.
I'm going to give this one a second slaps. And one of the surprising things that actually captivated me most about the song, too, is the fact that a lot of the subject matter, too, about the girl from the summer that you basically lost touch with and you don't know about anymore, that doesn't really happen anymore in today's world with social media and all. It's almost impossible for you to not know what's going on. And I thought it was kind of interesting where it's more of a situation from 20 years ago that really wouldn't happen anymore today. And it's also well written, too.
All right, so we got one slap on the board. What say you, Kyle?
I'm going to go crap. I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan.
The polarization has already begun.
This would absolutely be a song that I would be forced to listen to in the car.
From the
girlfriend.
missus. Yeah. Hey, you might want to amend that. Fiance.
Pardon me. Yeah, pardon me. I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan. Some of his stuff is good, but a lot of it, like I hate the. I think his name's Diplo.
Oh yeah. That pop mix he did. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. Heartless, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do not like that song. But I personally think it's crap. Unrelated to what Andy said, but just it's not for me. But it is a song that I can see being on repeat on country radio.
Okay, yeah. I think it's a big old hit, to be honest. And so for me, it's weird. Like my listenership, I guess you would say, with Morgan Wallen is very strange because on paper, it's a guy I should absolutely hate when it comes to his music.
Same.
But for some reason, I don't. And I've always kind of liked Morgan Wallen. There are a couple of songs I think are garbage that he's put out, but there are also some songs I think are very, very underrated by people in the independent realm, in the purist kind of music area. But for me, I got to give it a slaps too, surprisingly, because I love the melody. I actually like the production. I mean, is it super, super country in the sense that Turnpike Troubadours are? I mean, not even close, but neither is Old 97s in that way. I mean, they're a little bit more rock and roll, but Morgan Wallen, it's 7 Summers is kind of has that easy listening 70s vibe. The melody is pretty pleasing to me. I really like the way on his two most recent stuff that he's released for the upcoming record. They've done a good job of highlighting his vocals and that kind of like vocal growl that he has in a lot of ways. It's kind of like he has a unique voice. Like, I mean, you, at the minimum, you have to kind of acknowledge that with the guy, but like Andy said, it tells a story, even if it's not necessarily a unique story or something. He's not reinventing the wheel by any means, but I like it. I mean, it grew on me the more I heard it. It's just a very pleasing song to listen to, and I think it's going to be a big hit. So I give it on the lighter end of the spectrum. I still give it a slaps. So that's 2 slaps, 1 crap for Morgan Wallen, 7 Summers. All right, next up, I'll go to Jack Ingram's Times Like These. It was produced by Bruce Robinson. Part of his what is it called, the Last Waltz music series that he's done, where he gets a lot of the artists out of like the Texas Oklahoma region, and they have like this compilation album and music that he produces. They put out a lot of the songs are fantastic. So I'm going to start with this one with Jack Ingram, Sound Like These. I think it slaps. I think it's an all around good song. Is it what the kids would call a banger? No, but is it a well written song that has depth and substance to it? Oh, 100%. It's a song that, it's about cherishing the little things in life during times like these, as the hook says. But the cool thing about times like these, that phrase works in 2 ways. It works in a way of like, obviously with this global pandemic going on and people, their lives being very much interrupted from what is the norm. It works in that sense of like cherishing the good things during times like these, but also it works in a way of saying, cherish the good times while they're happening in times like these. So I think that kind of like, way that phrase works in 2 ways. And plus, I just think it's a very well written song. I give it a slaps. Andy, what do you say?
I'm going to give it a slaps, but I really didn't get to listen to the song as much as I wanted to. But I was picking up on a lot of the things that I like to hear, but I didn't give it a chance. I'm basically going to give it a slaps because I don't want to give it a craps because I like what I heard, but I didn't get a chance to dive deep enough into it.
Too busy in Iowa to do your homework.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, what do you say?
I'm gonna give it a slap. So I come down right in the middle of somewhere between you and Andy. Like I said, the song is very well written. The tune of it is it's very nice. I'm not the biggest fan of his voice personally,
Right.
but just the song itself is a very well written song. So just for that reason, I'm gonna give it a slaps.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can agree. It's 3 slaps for Jack Ingram. Times like these. All right, the next one up, which is by a guy that I'm normally a fan of, but it's Tim McGraw's new song 7500 OBO. Tim McGraw is a guy that's been in Nashville for a long, long time, since the early 90s, and made hell of a career for himself. Has had some fantastic songs in his day, and has also had some low points like Truck Yeah and Looking for That Girl. But here we go with Tim McGraw 7500 OBO. Kyle, your take.
So I have a lot of thoughts on the song. The beat of the song is too fast for this song.
Right.
You can, when I first played it, I was like, okay, this kind of feels like a good melody for Tim McGraw's song. But then when it hits the chorus, and you can tell like it's either produced or it's unnatural to him how fast he has to spit out OBO or 7500 at the end of the chorus, and it sounds unnatural to Tim McGraw. Right. I don't know if that's if they sped it up in production, or if that's just him.
Yeah,
I feel like if the beat was just the music itself was a little slower, the song would be a lot better.
Right.
I just feel like the melody behind it is too fast for the song.
Yeah. So what do you give it?
I like it. I'm gonna give it a slap because it's gonna be a banger on mainstream radio.
All right. So we got 1 slaps. Andy, resident truck driver, what do you say about Truck Yeah singer himself?
Hard crap. By the first verse, I really did not want to hear anymore. Partially because I know with giving Morgan Wallen a slap, it's going to make me sound like a little bit of a hypocrite, but I do not want to hear another song about someone missing his baby while he's in his truck. That was the whole first verse, and it was a hard crap from there on.
All right, so that's 1 slap, 1 crap, and I'm going to break the tie here. I think this song is a big pile of crap because I from the moment it opened up with the snap tracks and the R&B guitar licks and the smooth, like trying to let smooth as in like me trying to be smooth in this kind of like sexy kind of tone. It took me back to the low levels of mainstream country music around 2013, 2014, and what we called the bro country era, where everything was about hooking up on the tailgate or singing about your truck, cold beer, hell yeah, kind of thing. And Tim McGraw, you're better than this. This song is horse shit. It's just not good. It's like the production is terrible. The idea for the song's not bad, but to Andy's point, do we need another song about singing, using your truck as an analogy for missing your baby? But if you're going to do it in a way that is actually indicative of what your career is, and that's being a pleasant country artist who has some pop leanings. Don't go full on bro country. I mean, bro, that was 6 years ago, and let's call a spade a spade. You're 50 freaking years old, man. Like
this song been done 1,000 times.
This song is
done better.
Be more mature in your music. Like this is the same guy that's saying "Live Like You Were Dying," and here he is at 50 years old, singing. I got to get rid of my truck because it reminds me of my girlfriend over these snap tracks and R&B licks. Like, come on, man, it's crap, hard crap.
Yeah, I would have to agree. You guys are making me look bad. It is hard to justify, especially when this is the same guy that's saying "Live Like You Were Dying."
Yeah,
just probably a song of a decade in country music. Yeah, you guys are making me look bad now. But oh well.
Well, we got 2 hard craps and 1 light slap for Tim McGraw's atrocity of a song, 7500 OBO. All right, and number 5 on the list is by a guy out of Texas, and Conroe, Texas, I believe. I think this guy is going to be the next big thing in country music with any justice in the world. And he just recently signed to a major Nashville label while retaining creative control, and that is one by Mr. One, Parker McCollum. And he's going to have a new record coming out soon. We've heard some acoustic stuff that he's done live that we have covered on OakCityDrifters.com. And his debut single, Pretty Heart, was pretty good. he said that's about as far into the pop sounding material he'll go, which is definitely a big indicator that I think it's going to be a banger of a record. But he released a new single called Young Man's Blues. And before I give my thoughts on it, Kyle, you want to tell us what you think about Parker McCollum's Young Man's Blues?
Absolute banger. Slaps harder than any other song of the 5. I've had this song on almost repeat for a week since you sent the list out. This song speaks to, I'm not depressed or anything, but this song just like,
for the record, Kyle says he's not depressed.
I don't have any blues or anything.
Look, man,
but
sad songs make me happy. Just
they do. And
sad
this song, man, this song just slaps. Parker McCollum, I've listened to a few of his songs, but I haven't listened nearly as much as you and Andy have.
Right.
This song right here turned me on to all his other songs. So just by that, song's an absolute slap.
Yeah, I mean, that's one slap. Andy, Parker McCollum, Young Man Blues, go.
I'm gonna give it a slaps. It's not my favorite by his, mostly because I don't relate to it as much as I typically do to a lot of Parker songs.
Right.
That's one reason. I also, I thought this was a different song before it came out. That was one mistake on my part. And I don't think it's going to crack the top 5 on my album, but that's wishful thinking.
Right.
Album hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, fair enough. So we got 2 slaps. So for me, to quote Julius Hodge, when he was, when BJ Barham sent him the song Wolves, he said he wrote it about him. The song's straight fire, son. Like this is a banger, man. Like it's probably been one of my favorite ones that we listened to. It's not my favorite Parker song, but it's a hell of a tune, man. Like Young Man's Blues is, I love the sound. It reminds me a little bit of, with like the tempo and the instrumentation, a little bit of Tom Petty, but with a little bit more twang. I love the pace of which the song goes. It's a little bit faster in the studio version than it was on the acoustic version, which I think actually helped it. Because Parker, when he plays stuff acoustically, has a tendency to play it kind of slower. And while people like me will listen to that, like he's also trying to attract a wider audience. Because Parker has been quoted as saying that he wants Luke Bryan money while writing Chris Knight quality songs, and I think that's a heck of a thing to reach for. Yeah. So the melody is great, but Parker is a good vocalist. He has such a unique voice. It's like a country-ish sounding John Mayer type vocal to me, and I love it because it's like a coming of age, accepting growing up kind of song. It's very relatable to me at 26 years old, kind of going through the stuff I guess going through now, and it's a damn good song. It's a hard slap for me, and it's been one that, like, when you texted me, you said it's been on repeat. I've had it on repeat all week too. It's like that's the one I keep coming back to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap up this segment, the very first edition of Slap or Crap, let's obviously I think Kyle and I have already kind of indicated this, but let's talk about, say which one was our favorite. I'll go first. It was, like I just said, it was Young Man's Blues by Parker McCollum. I loved a lot of the other songs, especially the 097 song, but Parker's edged out everybody's just as a total package. It was my favorite. Kyle?
Parker McCollum, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, it takes a special song to turn you on to someone that you haven't normally listened to.
Yeah, for sure.
So that ought to speak enough volumes that just one song could, make me delve deeper into his other discography.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're on trust me, like going and discovering a new artist for the first time and then finding out that they're freaking awesome. Yeah. Is one of the best things in the world. And I think you're going to really like this guy. So, Andy, excuse me, is your favorite one of the 5 that we have discussed in the first edition of Slap or Crap?
I'll burn your fingers and make you cry. I'm going with the old 97.
Bottle Rocket Baby. Hey, look, you know what's funny to me about you picking that one?
That surprised me.
Yeah, it surprises me, to be honest, because, I mean, how long have I known you? Like 20 years? Longer than that? Something like that? Like, you were not that big of an old 97s fan or a Rhett Miller fan just not too long ago. And I think you're coming around on their music a little bit.
Really, the song to me too is for what you said about Parker too. Is that's a little more relatable to me than the Parker song is.
Right.
Lyrically speaking, that's probably not a very good thing, but
I mean, look, I don't know, because you've kind of dropped a lot of your rambling ways in relative to past years.
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, I mean, yeah, you still travel, but
yeah,
but you're not hanging out with random weirdos at Minnesota bars anymore.
No, I don't do that anymore.
So, but yeah, so we got 2 for Parker and 1 for Little 97s, and overall, I think this was a good group of songs. We might catch a little hell from people for the Morgan Wallen song, giving it some praise.
Yeah,
because
the biggest thing is about when you give the Morgan Wallen the slaps and then you turn around and give the hard crap to Tim McGraw. It's kind of a contradiction.
2 completely different songs, though. To be fair, like sonically,
that's why I gave it a slap.
Yeah, agreed. Like, but
we opened ourselves up to get called hypocrites.
I don't care. It's my show. If they want to talk about it, they can create their own freaking podcast. You know.
Yeah.
You know what they say.
Yeah.
Don't title the episode "Morgan Wallen slaps Tim McGraw crap."
yeah.
Turn everyone off.
Then again, we might get a huge following in the mainstream crowd for one episode until they find out that we hate most of the stuff they like.
They find out we crap on them.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like the Trojan horse to lead into that market until they find out, oh yeah, these guys don't like Florida Georgia Line and Sam Hunt.
All attention is good attention.
Yeah, I mean, look, was it good publicity? No, all publicity is good publicity. But yeah, so I know that we'll probably catch a little bit of heat for the Morgan Wallen thing, but you know, I like what I like, and we've said from the very beginning, if we like something, we'll cover it. If we don't, we won't. I mean, so I think this should be a recurring segment. I like this. It kind of gives a little bit more structure. So I like this was a good idea, Andy. I got to give you credit. Andy's had 2 genius ideas for the podcast, naming the podcast Country and Cold Cans and coming up with slapping crap.
I ain't coming up with the idea to do the podcast. Except for slaps and craps was your idea. I just named it.
Yeah, I just had some other name that we were considering.
If you want to give me credit for it, I'll take it.
Yeah. I had another name. I kind of, to be honest, like I ripped the idea off from my older brother from our other podcast called Miserable and Reckless. We recorded the first episode the other day. It's a podcast on sports and Southern culture and Southern food and a little bit of music mixed in to boot. But it's they kind of have this segment they want to do called Hell Yeah or Meh. And it's basically the same premise, but not just with music, just with all kinds of stuff. So I kind of ripped it off, and Andy put lipstick on the pig and made it the prize hog. So, but yeah. So I think, like I said, be ready for the Austin Upchurch interview coming up next week. Be sure to stop by oakcitydrifters.com/shop. Pick up one of these awesome Country and Cold Cans koozies. Support the podcast. Help us be able to keep doing these things. And, appreciate you guys' time.
Take care, guys.
All right, guys.